Since the de-dollarization campaign began, China and Russia have been at the forefront spearheading actions and initiatives to bring the goal of dethroning the dollar into a reality. And one of the major initiatives that have been gaining traction in recent times is using local currency for international trade instead of the dollar. Since 2023, Russia and China have begun to trade using the Russian Ruble and the Chinese Yuan, and in late April 2024, both countries signed a trade agreement to conduct $260 billion of trade without resorting to a single American dollar. Based on the agreement, 95% of the $260 billion worth of trade will be settled in the Chinese Yuan, while the rest 5% will be settled in the Russian Ruble and the Euro. According to China and Russia, this agreement is not limited to just China and Russia. The plan is for it to be replicated among all BRICS Plus members, and if possible convince other countries, especially those in the global south such as African countries, to follow suit. Right now, it seems their plan has paid off because India and Nigeria recently finalized a major trade partnership where it was agreed that both countries would use their local currencies instead of the dollar. This news is quite shocking because both of these countries have a good relationship with the United States. However, it seems having a good relationship with the US is not enough to stop them from joining the latest trend. And besides, this move makes sense because it has a lot of benefits to offer both countries. Led by Additional Secretary, Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Amardeep Singh Bhatia, and accompanied by the High Commissioner of India, a 7-member delegation from India held a joint trade committee meeting with their Nigerian counterparts in Abuja. According to the statement released by the Indian commerce industry, both countries undertook a detailed review of recent developments in bilateral trade and investment ties and identified several areas of focus for enhancing both bilateral trade as well as mutually beneficial investments. These include resolving market access issues of both sides and cooperation in key sectors such as crude oil and natural gas, pharmaceuticals, Unified Payments Interface, UPI, and local currency settlement system, among others. The meeting ended with both sides agreeing to the early conclusion of the local currency settlement system agreement to further strengthen bilateral economic ties. Currently, Nigeria is the second largest trading partner of India in the Africa region. According to reports, bilateral trade between India and Nigeria stood at $11.8 billion in 2022-2023. With a total investment of $27 billion, approximately 135 Indian companies are actively engaged in Nigeria's vibrant market. These investments traverse diverse sectors, encompassing infrastructure, manufacturing, consumer goods, and services. In September 2023, Nigeria secured nearly $14 billion of pledges from Indian investors in a bid to boost economic cooperation with India. According to the Nigerian spokesperson, India's Jindal Steel and Power has committed to pump $3 billion into Nigeria's steel sector, and Indorama Corp plans to invest an additional $8 billion to expand its petrochemical facility in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Nigeria approved a $1 billion partnership agreement with the Indian government to help the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria attain 40% self-sufficiency in local manufacturing and production of defense equipment in 3 years. All these agreements between India and Nigeria indicate that both countries are committed to bolstering trade ties, and the recent local currency settlement system agreement signed by both countries is a step in that direction. This decision to trade without the dollar comes as both countries are currently facing pressure from international markets and have decided to join forces to face these challenges. By taking this step, India, as a member of BRICS, demonstrates its commitment to autonomy and independence in its economic dealings. As for Nigeria, the country has expressed interest in joining the BRICS. This was revealed by the country's Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tuggar, who disclosed that Nigeria is looking to send in its application to join the elusive club. Very recently, he restated that the country has not abandoned its objective to be a part of the BRICS group in the next 2 years, an idea he has been touting since 2023. He also noted that the country's intention to join the BRICS nation would not be influenced by the West. So, taking this step with India is certainly a move in the right direction, because de-dollarization is the current action plan of the BRICS alliance. So, what exactly would Nigeria and India gain with this agreement, and what would be the impact on Africa as a whole? Well, there is no doubt that both countries have a lot to gain, especially Nigeria. In recent times, the country has been suffering under acute inflation as a result of its currency, the naira, underperforming against the dollar. In fact, recently, the naira to dollar rate reached an all-time high of 1,500 naira to $1, which has led to more than triple the price of food and fuel, and drastically increased the cost of living. However, with this agreement to trade using either the naira or the rupee instead of the dollar, Nigeria's currency as well as the Indian rupee would be strengthened against the dollar, which would have a ripple effect on their economy. This agreement would also help to mitigate the risk associated with dependence on a foreign reserve currency and also reduce their exposure to currency fluctuations. And, as Nigeria has taken this step, there is no doubt that other countries in Africa would also follow, as their currencies have also been underperforming against the dollar in recent times. When this happens, the local currencies of most African countries will be strengthened, leading to a boost in their local economies. In all, this is a good move by both India and Nigeria and deserves to be applauded. Their decision reflects the general trend observed in emerging economies, which seek to reduce their dependence on the US dollar and strengthen the use of their local currencies in their international transactions. Already, more than 20% of global oil purchases are no longer made in dollars but settled in local currency, according to recent reports. According to JP Morgan's head of global commodities strategy, Natasha Kanova, US sanctions are a major motivator for BRICS countries to start doing oil business in non-dollar currencies. Chief economist at Capital Economics, William Jackson, also echoed the same notion that US pressing sanctions on developing economies is what's driving BRICS towards making payments in local currencies for oil. This is something other countries are increasingly concerned about, he said. Some are seeking to reduce their risk of possible sanctions on the use of dollars in trade, he further added. The BRICS alliance has been seeking to control the global oil sector and bring the US dollar down using local currencies for trade. This is why the bloc inducted 4 new oil-producing countries, including Egypt, the UAE, Iran, and Ethiopia, as members in 2024. Saudi Arabia, a top oil exporter, was also sent an invitation to join the alliance. The kingdom is currently weighing its option of joining the alliance, but if it does, Saudi Arabia's entry into BRICS will change the supply dynamics of the global oil and gas industry. Currently, the alliance already dominates 43% of the global oil supply, so with Saudi Arabia's entry, that percentage will further increase. This also means that the percentage of oil transactions in local currencies will increase in the coming years. With all that is happening in global geopolitics, there is no doubt that a trend has started to dethrone the dollar, spearheaded by BRICS, with China and Russia at its helm. Chinese President Xi Jinping said in a press meeting recently that the United States' days of bullying the world are coming to an end. And honestly, with what has been happening, there could be merit to the statement, as BRICS successfully convinced other developing countries to ditch the US dollar. Right now, the US dollar is facing competition from all sides as developing nations are looking to uproot it from the world's reserve status. The goal is to put local currencies in the forefront for cross-border transactions and push the US dollar second in line. This development is only the start, and BRICS will continue it for many more years and decades to come, meaning that the next decade will be different for the US dollar, as it will face challenges from various countries and currencies. However, the question is, will the United States fight to keep its position, and will it succeed? Well, only time will tell. But the upcoming situation in the global financial sector will be the most interesting development this decade to watch out for. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.